morning, Plum here, playing World of Tanks. Any rumours that I've died are untrue. I am perfectly well, thank you very much. Summer holidays, I guess. Just really hard to put videos out then. So anyway, we're back. Let's do one of my replays, because this was an interesting game on a tactical level, I've got to say. It all turned out rather nicely in the end, and I made the right decisions at the right times, and I'm hopefully going to explain why this worked in the end. So I'm pushing up. I'm going to sit in this bush here. I'm not going to go any closer, because that can be frankly lethal. Let's see what happens to this light tank that pushes up a bit too close, and his friend, the PZ-38NA. They're going to let me just switch to manual camera. They're going to position themselves here and here. So occasionally I might go to these spots on it's highway, isn't it? Highway. But figuring I'm top tier and my gun is very nice indeed, I want to be sort of on the front line, but I don't want to be on the front lines, if you know what I mean. We do see the Wolverine, and then we see the Largo pushing across, and it's typical for what you'd expect on this map. Tanks tend to go down the one line. Maybe a bit unusual because it's such a low tier game, tier 6. There's only 2 heavies on the enemy team and 1 heavy on our team, so I'm kind of factoring that into my thought process, thinking we're going to get a lot. If I take a shot, misses it seems, that we'll get a lot more tanks maybe coming up the 1-2 line than we did do ordinarily, but it's not like it's because they've got no heavies and we've got lots. It's even. So as you can see, our 2 light tanks have now been wiped out, being probably detected by that Covenanter. I have not. I'm still sat in my bush, and I'm going to sit here for a little bit longer while I weigh up my options, and then I weighed up my options and I've decided to get the hell out of there. It's like, no, that's not going to work. Once I shoot at something, there's going to be too many tanks that can shoot back at me, so I'm going to quit my losses there and just fall back a little bit. Now what normally happens on this map is, particularly when you start in that southwest spawn is and you want to push the 1-2 line, you do that, and once you've got it, and you've got to look at coming across the gap that I'm looking at now. Let's see if we can hit this Sat. Come on, Sav, take a hit for me. Please take a hit. Come on. Yay, they drift over there. You think that one missed, and it finally hits because the shell velocity is not the highest and it takes a while to get over there. I think he's got himself into a bit of cover. So we're going to try and suppress these guys before they come across, but Wolverine, he's just taken out one of our tanks. Let's go to T24. We've got the M5 Stuart down there still spotting. I see that he sees the Covenanter, so I don't think I'm going to get detected sat back here, which is exactly what you want when you're in a light tank. You don't want to get detected, you just want to sit at the back and snipe at this stage of the game and let them push on you so that you can start taking advantage of their foolishness. Because there's always a couple of TDs camping back here. A little hard to predict these shots because he's behind those leaves and I don't want to push any closer than that. Then I see the T-34 pushing in. Now this is a threat. Once they get over to this ridge, all of his friends, you can see how many he's got. He's got 5 friends behind him, are all going to get shots on me. So I'll take my couple of shots, start moving. This is really, really important. If I just sat there like a lot of players seem to do, they just get absolutely annihilated. You'll get tracked, your engine will get broken or something. You won't be able to move and you will die. So I start shimmying around thinking I've got to keep moving. Bit unlucky to get hit by the Largo at that point, but that T-3485 is in a really good spot now, so I'm thinking I've got to get this guy out of the game before his teammates decide to push across, and I've got a huge force in front of me. While they're at a good distance, I'm thinking I've got to kill him, I've got to get him out. I can't leave him there because I think at the moment all of his friends are sat back there on the 1-2 line looking at the Stug, looking at the Covenanter and they're just taking shots. I think, right, I'm going for it. I'm going to use the terrain because it's fairly, undulating around here. Get a shot. I'm a bit unlucky to see the Wolverine. I don't think he hits me, actually. I mean, I get lucky there. Get another shot into the T-34. That leaves him on a potential 1 shot, I was hoping. Yep, take him out. Keep driving, Plum. Keep driving. Don't stop moving. And I managed to get in and out of there without taking any damage. It was a calculated risk, but it paid off, ultimately. And I'm really pleased how that went. So now the Wolverine is getting hopefully pulverised by the looks in the M5 Stuart. I don't really want to go and crest that ridge because I know he's still got friends over there. Thinking, come on guys, kill him, kill him. Yeah, he's dead, great. Meantime, we have taken the town, and this is looking like we could potentially get this in the bag. So the Stug 4 sat over the back doing what Stug 4s do, shooting at my friends. So I'll start putting the shots in. Now, the accuracy of this gun isn't tremendous. It's fine enough for medium range, but at long range, you've got to pump a few shots in. So I decide, since there's nothing else to do right now, I'm just going to keep putting the shots in. And I think, is it the next one? Does it come good? Yay! Worth doing. So I'm thinking, I fell back at the right time. That's great. I took out that tank that was hurting my friends. That's great. Now I've just killed a blind shot at a tank that was over there. That's great. This is all going really, really well. Now the scores are pretty level. We're on our side of the map and they're on their side of the map. So what do we do now? I'm thinking, well, I'm a top tier light. I've got good maneuverability. I see there's a Largo over there, which is only a tier 4. And the Sav. And I'm thinking, I might be able to get over there, get in close and give my Covenanter and my Sav chances to shoot them. So since I've got the maneuverability, I'm going to press on up. Seemed to be the right decision at the time. Didn't fancy going down to the south, and we've got tanks down there. I think I'm going to leave them to deal with those guys, and then we get the spot we needed on the Largo. Take a shot on the move, it misses. I'm quite happy here because I'm hull down, and my turret is beautifully curved, so push up. Thinking he's got 350. I've only got to hit him twice, is it, I think? What is the average on this gun? It's the 76mm, yeah, 115, so I'm going to have to hit him 3 times. 1. Get a nice high roll there, 126, and the Covenanter does a lot of the work for me. I'm able to pull up here. I'm making sure I kept that building behind me then so that the Sav couldn't get a shot in. That all worked out. Getting an auto lock, so I want to fire on the move. Don't want to sit in front of his gun as long as I want to. Cool, we managed to get the damage on that guy. That just leaves. I'm going to speed it up. The T-37 in the end. So I think all this game really hinged on the moment at the start of the game where I decided to pull back from those bushes and get back in the trees and start defending what would obviously be an advancing enemy. It seemed obvious to me that's what was going to happen, and how can I best take advantage of it? Sit back and snipe, because I was a top tier light tank. If I was a bottom tier light tank, I might be more inclined to push into them and try and get spots for my friendly team. T-37. Thinking, come on Blum, just get a little bit more damage. He's got a few more hit points than me, but maybe I can just dance around him and he might miss, and my friends might get a bit of damage on him maybe, and maybe I can get one more kill and get 4. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Drive, Blum, drive! As you can see, the reload is very snappy on this little gun. It's just a couple of seconds. One more, and the VK gets him. And that is game. Let's take a look at those post-game stats and have a quick reappraisal of what I did in that game and why it paid off in the end. Let's take a look. So very briefly, you can see that was good enough on my first class. I also picked up high caliber, which in a light tank is always a very nice thing to do. 1749 damage done, which is quite a chunk more than the VK who was next on my team with 918. I got 3 kills and 948 base XP. I mean, it wasn't a tremendously, massive carry game. It was a personal carry for me. I'm not used to having massive carries, but from my point of view, it was really good. And the team score is going to reflect it, how it all kind of went. Detailed report, 36 shots fired, 18 hits, 16 penetrated. So 1 in 2 shots actually penetrated, but only 18 of those actually connected. Like I say, long range firing, it's okay, but it's certainly no TD when it comes to terms of accuracy. So ultimately that was a really sound game. I'm going to run you over the strat sketch, which I've been watching tons and tons of Lemming Rush's replays, and he plays a game and then he goes through strat sketch and just repeats everything you've just seen in the game, and that's how you sort of learn stuff, isn't it, by someone repeating it. So let's bring up strat sketch. So here we are, here's on highway. Obviously we spawned up here. Always wanted to do this with this little ping tool, it's great. Came down to this bush here, and that gives you pretty good line of sight up to here, where the tank's obviously pushing around trying to find their spots to shoot to us as we try and push up. Maybe if we had sent tanks here, it might not have played out entirely the same way, but we kind of weakly went into this part of the map. Ultimately, my 2 friendly tanks who pushed up too close, the Covenanter that was here spotted those guys, and then he probably had friends around these spots that just tore them to pieces. Luckily, I was just far enough back and had the camo rating not to get spotted, and managed to actually retreat all the way back up here once I saw that we'd lost those guys and we'd lost the other guy over here, that inevitably they were going to push across into us. So I got a position up here with some decent camouflage. You can see I was struggling to hit that tank because I was looking through so many trees, but didn't want to get spotted. And ultimately what always happens, the enemy team sent their tank up, the T-34, to this part here, decided that was unacceptable, pushed around him, and all this time you were keeping one eye on the south of the map, but ultimately nothing was affecting my gameplay because the scores were pretty level all the way through, so I could just be content just to keep fighting this side of the map, knowing that they had, was it 4 or 5 tanks sat back up here waiting for their T-34 to light us up. Obviously keep moving. When I went around and circled that guy, I did not stop. If I'd stopped, you'd have given easy shots to those tanks over there. So and it's a long way to shoot. Some of the tier 5s and 6s that are shooting at me, their accuracy probably wasn't that great, so you just got to make a calculated chance and guess. If I had really low hit points, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I probably would have got hit and wiped out, but I still had nearly all my hit points, so my finger was poised over the repair just to keep my tank moving if I did get tracked or something. Anyway, took out that guy, and then that seemed to give Dutch courage to my friends, who managed to take out the Wolverine. Subsequently, that allowed me to the counter push and take out the Largo that was camping behind this building, and you get a bit of cover here from the ridgeline. There was a Sav parked here, the Swedish TD, and ultimately took those guys out, and then that just left cleanup duty really. The guys in the town managed to push in and just leave the T-37 who was camping base, as there's always someone camping base, and drove in and got him. But ultimately, I say the game hinged on me deciding to fall back to this position, knowing that pushing in this direction would have been me in an open field giving these guys shots on me, these guys probably shots on me, and my guys not being able to do much to support me. So yeah, that would have been a bad call. Definitely the right choice, as it ultimately turned out. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like these little strat sketches at the end of a replay, do let me know in the comments below. I'm sure you do. I mean, it's just, you know, more information, isn't it? And hit yourself over the head long enough, it'll suddenly start to sink in, this sort of when to retreat. You know, the top tips that you can take from any decent player, I'm an okay player, but really good players, is, you know, watch the minimap like a hawk and know when to pull back, because if you pull back successfully, you can then keep fighting. If you sit there too long, you get obliterated. If you push forward sometimes, you might get obliterated. You know, falling back is one of the most strongest plays you can make in World of Tanks. Just keep your tank alive. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. It's Thursday. I'm not doing a live stream tonight. I've been away on holiday, etc. I think next week will be my first live stream when I come back next Thursday evening, so look forward to that. I think I'll probably try and make it a light tank themed live stream, as I'm really enjoying my light tanks right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the replay, and let me know how you know out there. If you manage to have games where you manage to pull back at the right moment, it's always good to see and show everyone how it can work to your advantage. Retreating is not a negative thing, it is a very positive thing indeed in this game. Anyway, cut a pow. I'll play World of Tanks again soon. Take care. Bye bye.